whites. We are the whites in
Yes,
question,
we are.
and I'm Aubie. Come sit at Jom's feet with me and learn about some fucked fuckers.
Yeah, this is another kind of me episode. I didn't really realize it until we started watching it. I was like, wow, this is deeply, deeply in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Well,
We
we share a love of Kurisu for sure.
I was gonna say
Which,
this is a mutual feeling of how awesome this fucking guy is.
this is a particularly uh, fucked moment in time for Kurisu, if you can believe it.
Yeah. It's weird because you kind of think that he would like slow down after the FMW stuff, but he actually is arguably even more fucked up than that time. Because he's just going everywhere on the indies, doing like the same shit to less important people, which means he can get away with more. And this is a great example of him getting away with more. um, we will be talking about 3 matches from the wonderful, wonderful promotion Kitao Dojo from 1994 and 1995. A little bit of history about Kitao Dojo. Uh, as the name suggests, it is the promotion run by one Koji Kitao, who is mostly remembered for the whole thing with Earthquake. And if you don't know him for that, or if you do know him for that, but you know him about more stuff, you probably know him about the time that Nobuhiko
Which
Takada knocked him
could be
out.
anything. That could have been three different things for
Yeah,
sure.
I was gonna say if you know him more than that, you probably know him for the time that he was really racist to Riki Choshu and got fired from New Japan. Um,
Or
or all the sumo scandals with like the gambling shit, you know. There's like there's like 20 different things. There's even a really popular video on YouTube of him and Meng getting into a shoot fight on a war show. Like
what an
he's
idiot.
he's mostly known for just insane bullshit. But
I first
I
encountered him in WCW NWO Revenge as Kim
oh
Chi,
oh my god, he was in that.
which probably would have deeply offended him if he hated Koreans so
Oh
much.
dude, he hates the shit out of him. Oh my god, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I guess that would be the first point of reference for a lot of, I mean, some of the older viewers for sure, and just a lot of viewers in general that they know him because they saw a guy based on him in WCW NWO Revenge. Oh man,
Many such cases.
but I will say, as someone that has seen a lot of Koji Kitao, I honestly am a fan. I think he's a guy that would benefit from a rewatch from a lot of people. I don't think he's like great all the time. There are certainly some matches of his that aren't good. Um but especially this period of time, like the mid to late 90s, like late career Katao, he's actually like really, really awesome. And this is his promotion that he has started to be a debut spot for a lot of his trainees, and for him to do some weird shit that he can't really do unless he's running his own shows.
Like no
Um,
ropes and 5 minute
yes,
matches. I'm with
yeah,
all that.
yeah, dude. I love Kitao Dojo. We have the first 4 shows on tape. We don't have anything else after that, sadly. But those first 4 shows are some of my favorite like indie shows of the era. They are so much fun and they are such a breeze. Um, and it was really nice getting to go back and watch some of these because I haven't seen some of this stuff here in a good little bit, and it is always a treat to re-enter this zone. So why don't we go to the first show in the first match we'll be talking about today, the second show in the actual chronology of Kitao Dojo. This is on June 14th, 1994, in the Korakuen Hall, and we are talking about Masanobu Kurisu against Takashi Okamura.
And Kurisu was billed from War.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
w- they worked together some, right? Is that right?
uh,
Kitao
yeah.
Dojo and
So,
War.
so Kitao has always been a really deep like Tenryu guy. Like Tenryu was always going to bat for him. So War worked with Kitao and all his guys a lot.
he can't fool me. He has a big heart. He
Yes,
he loves to
yes.
give a guy a second or third chance.
He has given so many
Kitao,
people,
Kata,
so many
Hara,
people, so many chances.
the cop collar Orihara.
Dude, straight up, like if you are in his good graces or he just happens to like you, he will do everything he can to set you up well.
Dude, that
Um,
sushi still has a job.
yeah, dude. And fucking here's Kitao, who has gone through like what, like already like 4 different controversies that should have gotten him kicked out of the business, and here he is running his own fed, and fucking Tenryu is like working hand in hand with him here. The undercard matches here are billed as Kitao Dojo versus War, and Kurisu is representing the War side of things. Um, and Takashi Okamura, of course, is representing the Kitao Dojo side as an actual Koji Kitao trainee. Uh, he originally comes from, I believe, Shido Kaikan Karate, which I think basically all of the Koji Kitao trainees start there, and then Kitao convinces them to like train under him and learn how to do a little bit of wrestling. Um, and this is Okamura's first match ever. This is his debut.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, this is his first taste of professional wrestling.
What a taste.
And yeah, he's kind of, you think he'd get a sip, but he's kind of thrown straight into the deep end in this match against Kurisu, which is the longest match on the show. It's a little bit over 5 minutes long, and that is the longest match on this entire show.
I bet it felt like an hour to him.
Dude, this is
You
like,
can sort of get that vibe in the pre-match interviews where like I don't know what obviously either one of them are saying, but Okamura's like smiling, and I just imagine he's like, "I'll try my best," and then
yeah.
Kurisu's like, "I'm gonna kill this motherfucker for making me leave my house."
Kurisu is like side eyeing the cameraman the whole time, like he's just looking off in the distance, like, War told me to come over and do this shit, and I didn't want to, but they're paying me, so they don't pay me by the hour.
No doubt.
No fucking doubt. Um, And yeah, no, if you're not getting the feeling by the way we're talking about this match is fucking like evil. This is an evil ass match. What happens here? And it's entirely Takashi Okamura's own fault too. Like he was gonna get a beating no matter what. He's a debuting guy facing Masanobu Kurisu in the '90s. His ass was getting beat. He was probably gonna get stomped on the head a few times. That's just name of the game. Take your licks. That's just how it works. Um, I think the only reason he got the beating he did here is because he really was not just going to take it and actively fought back in some of the most ridiculous ways I have ever seen. And Kurisu just kind of like the way Kurisu fights back here, I have never seen anywhere else. This is the most violent Kurisu I've ever seen, and I've seen a shit ton of
Yeah,
Kurisu.
I think so too. I don't know why this one is not as famous as the Jado
Yeah.
beating because it's probably more nasty, and as you said, Okamura tries to fight back.
Yes.
And he lands some crazy shot. You can tell after he gets slapped, he's like so geeked because he's
Yeah.
bouncing around the ring like a video game like loading screen.
Yeah, dude,
Like these huge
the
exaggerated
he's doing the
Bruce Lee.
Sayama step. Like he's like hopping around like he's like hot foot. Like he's got some like big kicks to pull off. And he does, because every kick he throws is like a head kick. He exclusively throws head kicks, and half of them land like face kicks. Like straight to the nose. And every time Kurisu takes one, he like takes a pause for a second and like looks at him and is like, "Did you just kick me in the face as hard as you can?" Because he did. But these guys are like very early on already hitting each other very hard. Kurisu throws a slap to start out, and Okamura unloads like some shots, and Kurisu is throwing slaps and stomps, and the camera team for this whole show and for all these Kitao Dojo shows always did such a great job of filming Kurisu because a guy would get to the ground and they would zoom in on his head so you could get a clear shot of whenever Kurisu would stomp on it.
And it's so scary because like just when you process what you just saw, he's already like loading up another one.
Yeah, yeah, dude, he will he'll get a combo going with the stomps. Like actual straight up mud hole stomping, like attempted murder style.
I also love that like anytime there's any sort of like grappling at all, he just brute forces Okamura to the ropes and starts like short headbutting him.
Oh, dude, he loves that fucking the short headbutt to the side of the head. Like that is his bread and butter here and in all of these matches. He will get you into like a headlock, kind of put you out a little bit, give himself a little bit of room, and then just headbutt you.
And then
And
as
it's
soon as you go down, he's stomping so hard that
yes,
I legit can't believe he never just like went through the ring.
yeah, dude, like they're fucking scary, dude. Like really, really scary stomps and kicks. Because this match, he's not doing it as much, but he has a few moments where he'll throw a punt kick, and every one of them lands
Ugh.
so nasty. Um, and I mean, Okamura does everything he can to fight back, like crazy fucking head kicks. At one point, he gets in the corner and like climbs up and goes for a diving spin kick, and Greasy just looks at him really confused and then headbutts him.
Everybody laughs.
Yeah, the whole
The
crowd just
whole
starts
Crokin
laughing.
Hall laughs. But early on, it's so crazy. He like tries to get a leg lock, and Kurisu just like grabs his ankle, rolls him over, stands him up, picks him up straight by one leg, and like
Yes,
slams him like a sack of shit, which is like an overused term, but this is like the actual definition of what that means. Like,
it was like the fucking Goldberg spot where he like catches the leg and does like the spine buster. Kurisu kind of did that, but he didn't really do a spine buster as much as he just used one arm to lift him off of the ground and just stuff him. Like it is in the way like fucking Okamura lands and his whole body like bounces out because he's been like compressed from the slam.
and then he's immediately stomped to hell.
Yeah, I think that is where I wrote in the notes. Kurisu is just mauling him. Like he's actually just trying to murder him. uh, and that's early enough that it's actually not as bad as it gets because Kurisu is beating his ass. But again, Okamura will find these moments and he'll throw like a gut punch, which sounds so nasty every time he does one. Like full force punch to the chest or gut. And he'll land one of those head kicks that, again, I'm very, very certain is just a real kick to the face. Um, and there's a point where Kurisu gets one more like punch to the chest and he kind of stops for a second and then he walks over and then he punches Okamura in the face. Like not like no worker style punch, just straight up closed fist to the jaw, and he just stalks him around the ring for a second trying to punch him. This is some of the most violent shit we've ever seen on this pod in general. And like, I sound like a broken record here, but I cannot say enough that this is beyond the regular violence you would expect of Kurisu.
Which is
It
really
is
like a wild thing. There's a spot in the match where Okamura kicks him like in the nose
yes.
with the top of his foot as hard as he can. He kicks him so hard he falls down,
Yeah.
and Kurisu like no sells it. And I have used the word felonious to describe some offense on this podcast, but like he stomps him in a way that you would legit, if you did that to someone in real life, get arrested for like attempted murder.
Yeah, no, that's like courtroom footage shit.
He
Like that is that's
bounces his head.
that is guaranteed conviction, life sentence. Like get the fuck out of here.
He beats him so bad. There's these little awkward exchanges where you can tell Okamura has like no idea what to do.
Yeah,
And
he's
so
like
he's just sort of standing there.
he doesn't even know what's going on, man. He's like
Yeah.
so he's making his debut. He has Koji Kitao training, which I don't know what the fuck that probably looked like, but like he's got whatever that was done to him, and he's in here having his first match ever, and he's being mauled. And there's just little moments where he kind of doesn't know how to proceed. And of course, Masanobu Kurisu notices this, and every single time there's one of these little pauses, Kurisu will grab him in like a collar and elbow or something, pull him out a little bit, headbutt to the side of the head, get him down, stomp him on the head
Stomp his
again.
ass again.
It is wash, rinse, repeat. And it doesn't like it doesn't grow old, partially because this match is 5 minutes, and partially because you don't like get used to seeing this. You can't.
It's shocking every time.
There's no way to watch this and go, he does it again. Like, no, you're watching him try to like cripple this guy again. It only gets worse the more he does it.
Speaking of trying to cripple him,
Yeah.
we we know this is a different style fight because it ends with a different style fight finisher, but this is probably the most disgusting half crab that has ever been applied.
Yeah, you can tell like the way because Kurisu's just kind of trying to force it in at a certain point. He like blocks an enziguri, and with the leg that he already has in his like around his arm, or that his arms around, he just immediately tries to put it on. And Takashi Okamura, again, debut guy, karate guy, Koji Kitao quote unquote training. He does not immediately go to roll over with it, but Kurisu is going as fast as possible to put it in. So there is a point in the footage where you can see that Kurisu has bent Okamura's leg backwards. Like his foot is facing up and Okamura is on his back. Like it is the leg cannot bend that way.
It's a pretty quick finish, and he's so
Yes.
pissed off he gets up and like throws a table at Kurisu.
Yeah.
I, I, I got nothing but respect for Okamura in this match.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
It
he
may be a dumb decision
yeah.
to start that way, but he he took it and he dished some out too.
Yeah, he was not going to just take it like a bitch, and I deeply respect that. Um again, I can't imagine. Like, I'm sure someone before it happened clued him in and was like, "Hey, man, just letting you know you're facing Kurisu. Good luck out there." Um, but honestly, there's a good chance he didn't even get that, and he just went in there and just felt it in the air that he has to fight back against this guy. And in turn, he got the nastiest beating I've ever seen Kurisu give a single person ever. Um, but hats off to him because he is not done with the business at this point. He's not done by a long shot. He's not even done on
No,
this
he has a
podcast.
crazy career.
Crazy, crazy career. And I
It's
guess
wild to me. It's almost like uh, the Keisuke Yamada type ascent, where he's like this young guy
yes,
who's like suddenly in a position of power. It's crazy.
yeah, because I guess it is worth mentioning because we didn't really go into him at all before we started this match. If you know Takashi Okamura, there's a very good there's a very good chance you know him because you know him as the president of Dragon Gate. Um, I'll just go into a little bit of this now instead of saving it for the end. Takashi Okamura eventually takes over Kitao Dojo from like a business standpoint. I think that's around the time that they convert to being called Buko Dojo. But Okamura takes over, and there is a connection between them and Ultimo Dragon because, of course, Ultimo is another deep, deep Tenryu boy, and all of those guys are working war together and shit. So Ultimo is moving to Mexico and living there to do the whole Toryumon thing, and he gets in contact with Okamura and is like, "Hey, I want you to like work with me. We're gonna like combine our companies together, and you're going to run the Japanese branch of Toryumon. So like all my guys I'm training in Mexico, I send them back to Japan. You're going to be where they work, or you're going to run where they work. And Okamura says yes. So that is how we get. That's how we get Toryumon, which then leads into Dragon Gate. And Okamura is the president of Toryumon, president of Dragon Gate for a very long time. And there are a few other people from the Kitao pipeline
Yeah.
who go into Toryumon, and they only got in because of the war connection and because of what Okamura did with turning Kitao Dojo. He basically turns Kitao Dojo into Toryumon Japan. Like that's the end result of this company, which is crazy to think about considering the match we just watched. But the next match we're going to talk about has one of those guys who starts in Kitao Dojo as a Koji Kitao trainee and
Maybe like the
eventually
guy
I was going to say
from Dragon Gate.
if you know Kitao Dojo, you probably know it because this is where this guy came from. Uh, and eventually he goes into Toryumon and is now a Dragon Gate guy and has been since the beginning. We're going to talk about Masanobu Kurisu against Masaaki Mochizuki from the goddamn first anniversary martial arts tournament battle. This fucking show is genuinely one of my favorite shows ever. This is
And all this stuff is on archive, by the way. It's
yes, like
really
this
easy
is
to watch.
everywhere. Yeah. This is from February 21st, 1995. This is a one night tournament. And in a case that I have like, this is from what I not okay, not this is not the first time it's ever happened in Japan because there are some pretty famous examples of it happening in Japan, but it is one of the first like outright organized instances of it happening. The ring has no ropes. It is a no rope like martial arts tournament. They're basically doing like the movie Bloodsport. Like 20 years before the promotion or promoted thing Bloodsport happens.
R.I.P.
Yeah, RIP. Uh Josh Barnett saw Tom McDonald in the crowd and was like, "We will never go higher than this," and shut it
Shut
down.
it down.
Yeah, shut it down. We've hit our peak. But I, from a personal perspective, I love this show. First time I ever saw it was in the year of our Lord 2020. I was a freshman in college, and on the weekends when I didn't have anything else to do, I would start these Caracal streams and I would invite some people from Twitter that I knew, and we would just watch shit. And one of the first ones was watching the commercial release of this show, and it was so much fun. And that same one is where I met like genuinely some of my closest friends online. So I have always held this show very close to my heart. It is like a once a year viewing for me, and it never gets old. This whole fucking show is so fun, and it starts with Kurisu versus Mochizuki, which is genuinely one of the craziest fucking matches ever.
It's insane. You would not, if you haven't seen this version of Mochizuki, this is nothing like what you would expect.
Oh, dude.
And it's even shorter than the last one, but this is like a perfect little match.
Yeah.
I love to like it's and he Mochizuki gets a lot more respect than Okamura did,
Yeah.
and so this is great in a somewhat different way. But he like Kurisu tries to shake his hand, and Mochizuki is like really hesitant on the handshake, and like people in the crowd laugh, and I was like, man, what like a sick ass thing that we love, where it's like so funny how disgustingly sadistic this old man is, because he's like 58 or 59 here.
Yeah, dude. Fucking God, yeah, he is like almost so he's not 50 yet, but he's almost 50. He is at
Okay,
like
okay, he's 48.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's 48. He is I mean, this is like the most evil uncle ever. Like he is as more and more hair falls out of his head, he just reaches a higher level of darkness in his soul. And the crowd is What, dude? I also laughed when I saw that fucking handshake
Oh,
because
me
that was
too,
like
dude. Yeah.
super duper Zoomer style awkward handshake of like I don't want to actually touch you. But you know what? If I'm
I
Mochizuki,
laughed a lot in all of these. I just had a moment of clarity.
if I'm Mochizuki and I see Kurisu and I know what he did to my boy, my guy that I'm training with, I saw that. Like I was there. Like I'm also gonna be really careful shaking his hand because this guy's crazy.
And he approaches it differently to begin with because he's doing a much more different style fight thing of like feeling him out and trying the leg
Yeah.
kicks.
And fucking Kurisu is awesome here early because the thing with Kurisu is that he's like a heavy brawler and he does a lot of this like crazy evil strike and all that stuff. But his grappling is like awesome because he's just old school sugar hold kind of guy.
Now he's
Put
like
you
a
in a
New
headlock.
Japan dojo guy, right? Like,
He's one of the
like
earliest. Like
yeah,
he is a like
he's there with like
beast on the mat.
Fujinami and
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
and Hamada. That would be so funny to see. I
oh
wish we had that.
God, that'd be so awesome.
He does wrestle this time. He doesn't just push him to the ropes and bend him all the way back and headbutt him as hard as he can. He does some wrestling.
Yeah.
Although he does a takedown and he gets in mount and he starts making these noises like he's about to fucking shoot.
Yeah.
And then he stands up and guess stomps his head so hard. I assume he did. That was climax
Yeah.
because he's on top. And he's like,
Yeah, fucking the Kurisu noises are insane. Like I think it was like a few years ago when when I had a moment of realization of like, wow, dude, Kurisu is always so fucking loud in his matches. He's grunting and going like, yeah, like over and over again. And I think I found it because I started watching a bunch of the like footage from one of his like trainees, like feds, like J2K, which is like this scum indie in Osaka where the majority of the roster is trained by Kurisu. And like all of them also make the noises. Like all of his trainees are so fucking loud. And I was like, wow, I bet that was a part of his training. He was like,
you
listen,
gotta fucking, you gotta make sure
you,
they hear you grunting.
you got to be in that ring. You got to be loud as shit. Like it worked for me. I turned out well in this career, so you got to do it too. But he gets him out, starts making a bunch of those noises. And it's cool because like at first he like gets him in like a grounded position, and he actually like lets Mochizuki get up without like stomping him. Uh, and that is when I realized that Kurisu is a man of escalation. That he responds to threat. Like he does not like in that moment he was doing a big grappling with Mochizuki. Mochizuki didn't take any pot shots. He didn't stop him. However, immediately after that, Mochizuki starts throwing some kicks, and he starts throwing some hard kicks, and you can see, like, you can hear Kurisu at one point go, "Oh," and it's like that was the moment that he realized he had to stomp on him as hard as
Everybody just
possible.
everybody takes 2 steps back in the crowd.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh shit, here we go," and that's why the Okamura match turned out how it did, because Okamura immediately escalated with a head kick, and that meant Kurisu had to unleash nuclear warfare on his ass.
Well, Mochizuki gets up from that and throws 3 or 4 pretty fucking hard
Yeah,
ones too, and a
yeah,
huge knee lift. And then
yeah.
Kurisu's open hand slaps him so hard he like legit falls down, and then he headbutts him on the way down.
And you know what he does next? I bet you can't guess what
Mhm.
he does next. He stops him on the head.
I have said on here, I think, and other places before, the beautiful thing about Kurisu is that he always takes the most direct and quickest route to like the maximum amount of violence, which
Yes.
is why it's a headbutt or a stomp. Like whatever part of him is closest to your head is about to be flying at you like full speed.
Yeah.
And there's like a rhythm to it, but it's a crazy rhythm.
It is an
So,
insane rhythm.
just like you're getting bounced like a basketball.
Yeah. The slaps too. You mentioned it, but
Oh
those
my
slaps that
god.
he threw in this match are so like eardrum bursting, so loud, so fast, so hard. Like some of the hardest slaps I've ever fucking seen. and he just unleashes them on Mochizuki again and again, and it's always slap into headbutt into stomp, and then every now and then he slips a punt kick in there, and it's like it feels like just the slightest bit worse than the stomps, which is crazy because the stomps look like they could kill you, and the punt kicks looks like it would kill you even
I mean,
faster.
we didn't even mention how Okamura looked after the last match and
Dude,
like the post match
yeah, in the
interview.
interview, looks like he got like a face, like a bad facelift.
I couldn't tell from the quality of this, but it looked like both of their faces in this were pretty lit up because
Yeah.
Okamura threw some really hard kicks, but Mochizuki hits like a spinning heel kick. That,
Yes.
that is like he cannot no sell that. It is like point of heel to jaw.
Yeah, Kurisu's down for like a 6 count
I
from
think it's
that.
a 7 count. Yes,
It is, yeah. Fucking like full force, and it's like orbital bone shattering kind of like heel kick. It is horrific. Um and like I think a little bit after that is when Kurisu's throwing some headbutts and beat him down, and then Mochizuki out of fucking nowhere pulls out a backdrop and nearly kills him with it.
but then he just rolls over and again Mad Lib headbutt stomp.
Yeah.
He also Kurisu. I popped for he threw some like shockingly good leg kicks.
Yes.
And then he threw like a shockingly good like round kick to the ass, and then a less shockingly but just as good headbutt and stomp. But yeah, he crushes him with the backdrop, and he immediately gets gets his receipt
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
instant.
Yeah. And I think it is a little bit after that, when Kurisu's back in control with the stomping and the work, Mochizuki gets up and we get the fucking Mochizuki kill you combo where he throws a gut kick and then a big axe kick, and Kurisu kind of stumbles over and he's kind of nearby the edge of the ring, and Mochizuki throws a ridiculous fucking kick to the jaw, and as Kurisu is stumbling back from the kick, Mochizuki just shoves him, and fucking Kurisu falls out of the ring head first onto the ground.
Insane bump.
It is
This
like,
is one of the best finishes of any match ever. I
yes,
think
yeah,
it's so
I
sudden.
yeah, I've been saying that for a while, that I think this is one of my favorite like match finishes ever, because it is so. I mean, you're right. It's so out of nowhere, and it's so awesome too. Because if he just kicked him and then Kurisu fell back and like died, that would be crazy. But the fact that Mochizuki kicks him and Kurisu's already on the way down, but Mochizuki then shoves him just to make sure he falls out of the ring
And he lands on
is
his
so.
head, and Mochizuki throws his arms in the air like the
Yeah.
bell just rang at the end of a prize fight. And he's like running around the ring with his arms in the air.
Yeah. And I
And
gotta.
Carissa is just on his head with his ass in the air.
Yeah. Aubie, I gotta send this to you. I don't know if you saw this, because this is the one other thing about this show that I love, is that this is the only Kitao Dojo show we have that where we also have a handheld version. And the finish of the match on the commercial looks fucking crazy, and you get a perfect shot of Kurisu falling down and like landing head first. But the handheld is fucking crazy because Kurisu just disappears off like the side of the apron, like he just like falls into the ocean of the Kirkin Hall.
I just watched.
Yeah, it's so nuts.
The ref is like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, the ref's like, I don't what the fuck do I do here? Um,
Call it, because if he gets back up,
we get like a good taste of it though, because fucking Kurisu comes right back in right after the 10 count ends. He's got a fucking chair and he's immediately bludgeoning the shit out of some like Kitao Dojo trainee or just some guy that they have as a second. Uh, and I think fucking Nobukazu Hirai and the referee have to hold him back from attacking Mochizuki. So he does the most like gamer rage punch a hole through drywall thing he can do in the moment by slamming the chair against the corner as hard as he can.
And I think we'd be remiss if we don't mention. I assume if you're listening to this, you're familiar with Kurisu, but if somehow you're not, like, first of all, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Go watch like so much. Uh, but it, Kurisu is like, I think in the first fight, the graphic said the Great Demon King of Chairs. He's like the
Yes.
guy who invented hitting people with chairs.
Yeah, he's the chairman. He's the first ever
Yeah.
chairman in fucking wrestling because he was in FMW swinging chairs at people's heads as hard as he could. Like, and that is straight up his gimmick for the entirety. Actually, I was gonna say the entirety of the '90s. It is the rest of his career. He is the chairman. At some point in every match, he's got to get a chair. He's got to hit you with it. And
Yep.
I mean, he didn't really get to do it with Okamura. He tried at the end, but Okamura fought him off by throwing a table at him. Uh, he doesn't really get to do it here either. He just gets to do it to a young boy. But in the final match we will talk about, he gets his moment to shine. We are talking about October 3rd, 1995. Once again, third time in a row, Kirk and Hall. It is Masanobu Kurisu once again against Takashi Okamura. He is back for more.
With the worst haircut ever.
Dude, ridiculous fucking mullet, like straight out the trailer park.
All-time bad haircut. I love the
It's so
production
good.
of that. Kurisu is just bouncing his shit up and down on
Yeah.
the road.
Oh, dude.
And then there's
Okay.
like there is music that is so awesome, but it does
Yeah.
not it doesn't help with like what it looks
No.
like is
No.
happening.
No, Kurisu is so awesome in all of these pre-tapes because, like, I think in the last one, the first one he's doing the side eye. In the Mochizuki one, he is just doing stretches in the middle of taking an interview. Like, and he's got the big ass gold gym shirt on. And then here, he is in fact bouncing on it.
For a long time too. It's not like he does it for a second like it's a tick or something. He's just fucking it's so funny, dude. Okamura though, he has a better sense of humor than I do because he's like laughing before the match and like
Yeah.
offering his face to be pulverized. He does a little kiss to the camera.
That's like the craziest thing to me is that he's gone through this before and he is practically jovial in the pre-match interview. Like, fuck, dude. Was like the match so brutal last time that you don't remember it? Like that he beat the knowledge out of you?
I think it's swagger because as soon as the bell rings, and really for this whole match, and the first one too, after he gets hit, he's like so pumped up with like fight or flight adrenaline that
Yeah.
he's just like going wild with no strategy whatsoever, which is a pace that like very much favors Kurisu because he's all about like precision and like whatever you leave open, he's gonna take it in a second.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And again, immediately these guys off to the races here because they get into a big fucking slap out, like throwing crazy slaps at each other. And Kurisu, when he gets control, you know what he's doing. Big ol' headbutts.
There's
Like,
a section of my notes that just says stomp, 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 headbutt, headbutt, stomp, stomp. And that is so much scarier than it sounds. Because I'm telling
yes.
you, like, you said the way they film him, it makes him seem like a horror movie villain.
Yeah.
Because it literally, you will watch, like, that's the craziest stomp I've ever seen. And then he's already cocking for another one. And you're like, oh no, that's the craziest fucking stomp I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude, it is like actually it's horrifying. Comparing it to a horror movie is so great because it is horrific. There is no other wrestling that elicits such a response from me. This is more akin to like when I was like 12 years old and I saw a compilation of Jason X kills and it fucked me up really bad. Like
Yeah.
this is I'm feeling the same like emotional reaction in my bones to this match as I felt to that. Like horrific stuff. And
He
Kurisu
gets
is like that on offense and defense.
he's so scary, man.
Yeah.
There are more like people laughing in this one too, but it's like a horrified like guffaw,
Yeah.
like you do when you're watching wrestling with your friends and somebody like eats shit and everybody goes, "Oh," like
Yeah,
that's what's happening in the crowd like the whole time.
and that's a
He's
that's a Kurisu reaction for like his whole career. Like the Jado match is full of that. Like people just like laughing in reaction to Kurisu hitting like a fourth punt kick.
I love this guy. They're chanting Kurisu.
Yeah.
It's just like stands on his neck. He tries to throw him
Dude.
out. He tries to throw him out, and Okamura like just hits the bottom rope, which doesn't look that bad, but it's like so scary to think about.
Yeah.
But he gives him no time. He just like kicks him out of the ring.
Yeah. I fucking one of Okamura's like comebacks is like hitting a really cool leg trip, and he puts on like this like weird heel hook where at first it almost looks like
Oh
he's gonna
my
try
god.
and do the backwards crab that Kurisu did to him, but instead he puts on this heel hook and he has it in deep and it looks real nasty. And Kurisu responds by just kicking him as hard as he can over and over again until Okamura lets go.
It's so fucking nuts. And this one is like it's slightly clipped,
Yes.
but I think they probably just clipped out the parts like in the first match where Okamura's programming just like glitches out. And
Yeah.
like he does not know what to do at
Yeah,
all.
or alternatively, one of the hundreds of instances where Kurisu headbutt stomp, which again, I don't think it gets old whenever I see it, but if you're trying to fit all this footage into a single 60-minute long VHS tape, I get why you would cut some of that.
This one is so fun though. Um, and I had not seen this one. I'd seen the first two and loved the first two. I had never seen
Yeah.
this one before. I don't somehow I missed it, but it like we said, it's like horror movie stuff. This is like Evil Dead 2
Yes.
because
Oh my god.
they're doing like a lot of the same stuff, but it's almost being played for laughs.
Yeah.
It's like very aware of the first match in
Yes.
a really fun. Karisu's at one point even is like when he goes to get the chair and he's outside like doing bits with the crowd.
He is. He's like arguing with fucking, I think that's referee Wally
Yeah.
Yamaguchi. And he's like pointing at this lady in the crowd's like, she has a chair. Why can't I have a chair?
So I know from looking at Cage Match that he had like one match in Mexico that looks absolutely insane. I can't remember what it was right now, but it made me like sit up in my chair when I saw it, like one of his last matches. Kurisu doing like an old man run in Mexico would have been the greatest thing of all time. Can you imagine him in there mixing it up with like Black Terry and like Mr. Condor?
Dude.
That
Fuck. Dude,
the chair bit made me like I went somewhere deep in my brain where I was like imagining him in a half empty arena Mexico, like getting the show shut down.
dude, he would have been electric in like 2003 IWRG. Like he
Yeah.
would have been a monster of the mid card, doing bits with the crowd and then mauling like fucking like Ultimo Vampiro with like the hardest chair shots you've ever seen. Yeah, that's actually, and that brings up a thing that it has no relation to different style, but all relation to Masanobu Kurisu. The Masanobu Kurisu Mexico run is such a fucking grail for me, man, because he, by all accounts, got so over in like the 70s
I
and 80s,
bet.
and he was like a top like fixture of UWA for a bit. He had like a couple like apuestas, I think, that were pretty big deals, and he was fighting for titles a good bit. And we have none of the footage, but if you go look through like old magazines, like they'll have a bunch of photos of him having like big matches with fucking like Grand Hamada and Fishman
Dude,
and Solitario
dude.
and Mascaris. Like
Was it
he
was it broadcast? Do we know?
I so I don't I don't know if we know because I don't know if we have like a list of like what stuff was and wasn't broadcast from that era because we just don't, regardless of if it was or
Yeah.
wasn't, we don't have it. But I'm assuming with some of these bigger shows because he was exclusively working Mexico for like 3 years of his career. He was there on like every single show happening in the UWA. And they had a TV like time slot. So he definitely made it on TV for a lot of that stuff.
Well, I don't want to wish ill on anyone, but I hope that there's some rich old person in Japan who was an early adopter of of VHS technology or whatever
Yeah.
that will die soon. And because that sounds, I didn't even dig that deep. That sounds like the best possible thing that could ever exist.
Yeah, he was like
Kurisu in Apuestas matches in the UWA.
because I don't know if he's the best comparison point to Hamada, but I think it was like Hamada, and Sayama were all in Mexico around the same time, and I think Kurisu mattered more there than Sayama did, and was only a little bit less important than Hamada in terms of like the way they book them.
Wow.
And which is crazy because we look at Hamada as like this fucking legend of Mexico, and Kurisu does not get anywhere near as much coverage on that level. But he was like,
Well, I mean, he's
from
kind of
what I
until he's the most brutal old man ever. I mean, he's pretty much like a perpetual mid Carter in
I
Japan,
was
isn't
gonna
he?
say, we also really have no anything from before the FMW run. Like we have some All Japan matches. We have a couple handheld matches from his New Japan run, but he was a lower mid Carter for life in New Japan. And this was the 80s when the broadcast time slot was 30 minutes and very rarely an hour. So he
Yeah.
was never like there is no NJPW Kurisu television from before the FMW run when like because he comes back to New Japan for a few years when he's like old and the chairman. We have nothing from before that happens. Like zilch. We only have handhelds, which is crazy because he was there for almost 20
Yeah,
years.
that's such a bummer when you like find a crazy card and you find the TV and it's the match you wanted to see is just not on it
Yeah.
on those old broadcasts.
Yeah. Okay, I will, and I'll just say for fun because I mentioned the places, but I didn't say what they were. In 1980, he did a tag, and it was him and Cesar Valentino against Annibal and Fishman. And then in 81, singles match, Kurisu versus Hector Guerrero in Apuestas.
Or you know that was like the bloodiest.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him and Fishman trade punches too.
Oh, dude.
God
Oh
damn.
my god. He's wrestling babyface a lot. Like, oh my god. But
Well, we got
anyways,
way far afield, but this
yeah,
the tenor of this changes a little bit at this point, and it's really fucking fun.
yeah, because
While
Kurisu
still being
finally,
horrifying.
yeah, Kurisu finally gets his chair, and he's wanting to swing it, and you can see as he's starting to swing it at Okamura, Okamura is reaching out of the ring, and one of his boys is handing him something, and Kurisu gets a few hits in, but eventually has to back up because Okamura's in the corner, and Okamura gets up, and he's got fucking nunchucks, baby.
And I don't want to gloss over the chair shots either. Like we said, he's the first guy to do it. He's also like the craziest guy to ever
Yeah,
swing the
yeah,
chair. They're all like Foley Rock level, maybe louder.
dude, some of them are like car crash noises, like
And when he hits you with the
actual.
edge of the chair, he is
Ah,
hitting you with the edge of the chair.
yeah. Which is that's another thing with the Kurisu trainees. Like so many of them, fucking Kenji Fukumoto, great example with him. He throws chair shots the same way. He does like edge of the chair to the side of the head. Like Ricky Senshu would do that. Fucking a few other guys would do the exact same style of chair shot, which really makes me think because I have a I'm like interested in the idea of like how do these guys train people? Like we mentioned fucking the Koji Kitao training. I would legitimately love to know what that looked like because I cannot even imagine how he was training these fuckers to wrestle. The Kurisu style is so fascinating to me because part of me thinks he just tried to train people to be like little Kurisus. Because you see them do so many things that he did, and It feels like if you got with him long enough, he would just try to turn you into like another him.
What was that match we watched where it was Kurisu trainees and it was like outdoors?
Oh, is that the one with fucking like Fukumoto and Senshu and like Junpuku Yamamoto or something?
It's like in front of a crowd of like elementary school children.
Yes, it's like the Korean elementary school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're just doing Kurisu stuff.
Yeah, dude, they're like hitting each other so fucking hard, and then the camera pans over, and it's like 7-year-olds going goo goo gaga. Like, but he is lighting up Okamura with the chair, and Okamura responds with the nunchuck, and Okamura deploys incredible nunchuck like ability because he does like the Bruce Lee like swagged out like nunchuck demonstration and then runs over Kurisu and stabs him with the nunchuck.
He shows remarkable restraint
Yeah, dude, if I was him, I
because
would
I
have
might have
fucking
caught him with one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would have like actually like smacked him in the face with it.
But it's awesome when the nunchucks come out, but it's like Triple H pulling out the sledgehammer because yeah, he just
Yeah.
like stabs him with it a couple times with the bottom of the nunchuck.
And he does like
Nunchuck.
nunchuck choking, which like I can't
Yeah.
imagine is what they train you to do in the karate nunchuck classes. I don't think they train you to go Mr. Pogo with it, but I mean fucking Kurisu also does not take kindly to this because he then gets a little space, headbutt, and fucking just stomps him on the head again.
And then he hits him with a chair a couple more times, and you can hear women screaming.
Yes, they are so upset. Rightfully so, because it is scary.
And it's not long after that that he hits the first wrestling move that he's hit in any of these matches from Kurisu. It's like a
Oh,
butterfly suplex or something.
yeah, yeah, just
So like 1 minute left of the last match, he's truly is the most different style fighter.
yeah. We've never seen a wrestler in this kind of scenario where all they did was three things. But Kurisu was like, all I got to do is stomp, headbutt, punt kick. That's all I got to do. Every now and then throw a slap, and every now and then hit him with a chair. You know, what else? I think soon after that also is when he does wrestling move number two, when he hits the world's snuggest DDT
He
that looks
calls
like,
for it too.
yeah, he like does the signal and everything says DDT and he fucking plants him. And I don't know if Okamura doesn't know how to take a DDT or Gracie just made him take it because he actually stuffs him with it and it's like gross.
I do want to talk about right before that. Okamura hits a backdrop,
Yes,
which
he does.
in the moment when he hits it, I was like, "Oh, that was gnarly."
And
And then
then
but he also he winds up like he's gonna do a big stomp, and he just doesn't do it. I'm like, dude,
yeah.
no, I would have put, I would have gone Dragon Ball. Like every every amount of kinetic energy in my body would have been in my foot if I had a
Yeah.
chance to stomp him back, and I was somehow
Dude,
still standing up.
I mean, maybe he knew. Maybe he knew that if he did that,
Yeah, well, even still, he gets the shoot DDT'd right after, and then poof.
fucking super duper backdrop right on the goddamn neck by Kurisu. Like scary ass back. It's like the kind of backdrop where when Okamura lands, like all of his weight shifts onto his own neck because of the way he's like crumpled up on landing.
Again,
Just
as nasty of one as you will ever see.
yes. And Kurisu covers him
That's Kurisu.
and he gets the win. And that is two wins, one loss for Masanobu Kurisu in this strange fed that Koji Kitao has been booking him in.
I, we've described a lot of the same things happening in these matches, sort of, and it's like really hard to talk about these in a way that's not just like holy shit, and then he did this, because
Yeah.
like that's what he does, and especially because of the way like Okamura responds to it. There's not like a lot of structure in those, but I do think it's pretty remarkable, like the variety of matches here. They're all three different.
Yeah.
in
Like,
really in an interesting way. Like they play out differently. They're presented a little differently.
yes,
It's like the ultimate argument against like move set for being like an important thing.
yeah, no, because Kurisu is, I mean, Kurisu has a formula for like how he goes about doing his own work, but the way he implements that in the match, completely different in all three. Like he is, I mean, this is a strong piece of testament for like how good brawling can be. Because I think a long time criticism I've seen for brawling is that it's just all the same. That it's like punchy, kicky, this, that, this, that. And this is a great, great example of like you can do a lot of shit without doing a lot of moves. And Kurisu is always one of the best guys at that, just by virtue of being one of the best brawlers in the country. And he takes these incredibly early in their career karate guys and guides them through three different matches that are all super awesome and different. And I mean, the biggest piece of evidence towards Kurisu just being this fucking master is what he does with Okamura, because the Mochizuki match is great. I think that is like borderline perfect, and I have loved that match for a long time. But Mochizuki also, even from like the very not maybe not the very start. I know the Taz match is really awesome. But like from very early in his career, he just like had it on a level that none of the other Kitao Dojo guys did. Like it just clicked with him. Um, Okamura is not the same. Like he is not. And we talked about multiple times that he has those like buffering moments where he's like not sure what to do.
Yeah, it's actually
And
kind of shocking that this like baby deer guy became the Dragon Gate guy.
yeah, like, and I think the fact that Kurisu was able to do so much with him, and they were able to put on such awesome matches is like testament to Kurisu, testament to the style of match. Like this is fucking supreme work, and it is under. I mean, it's might be under 15 minutes in total. Like, go out of your way to watch this shit. It is all online.
Yeah,
Um,
very easy to find. Like I said, it's on archive.
yeah, like it is not at all a waste of your time. This is a fantastic little ride that you can go on and watch all the Kitao Dojo. It's all awesome. Watch the first show too. I just mentioned in passing when Masaaki Mochizuki makes his wrestling debut on the first Kitao Dojo show, and he faces a guy named Pete Tazello, and it is the guy you're
Yeah.
thinking of with that name.
So if you like to see Al Snow get abused, which who wouldn't want to watch
Oh,
that? Watch some
dude,
Kitao Dojo shows.
watch all of the Kitao Dojo you can because he gets abused on like every show. But I'm always happy to watch these kinds of matches. And it's a nice little breather from,
Yeah, we needed it. We
talking about
needed
some
it
heavy
after
shit.
the huge stuff we did.
Yeah. Um but speaking of huge stuff, this is kind of a milestone episode for us. We are 16 episodes in at this point, and we are also 50 matches in, including the matches we talked about today. We have been talking about a lot of different style fighting, and we wanted to ask the people about some of their favorite stuff that they've seen from our podcast thus far, and also we're going to talk about a little bit of our favorites as well. So we had a good amount of people actually get back to us about this. Thank you to everyone that responded back with their lists.
Yeah,
Um,
and if you hear this later and I think with the two-parters, sometimes it takes people a minute to catch up. So
yeah,
if you hear this later, you can still send us your
yeah,
list.
dude, I love talking to some of these fucking people about their stuff. Like it is. I mean, obviously because I'm on a podcast about it, but I do genuinely really enjoy talking about wrestling shit with people that I enjoy talking with. Like it's a fun time for me. So getting to talk about all this shit with other people is so much fun. I mean, I love talking about it with Aubie. There's nobody else I could imagine doing this pod with,
Oh,
but
oh.
I love hearing from anyone and everyone when it comes to this stuff. And we had a lot of, again, we had a good amount of submissions. We had a lot of variants too.
Yeah,
Very
I love
different
to see
answers from
that.
people. Yeah. So let's just jump into some of these lists. We got Lucas, friend of the pod, friend of both of us, the goat. He sent in his list. He's got Kobayashi Saito 2 at number 5. Murakami Ogawa against Hashimoto Iizuka at 4. Kushinaka Aoyagi at 3. Asako Juan at 2, which fucking fills my heart with joy.
So real.
And Onita Aoyagi WKA at 1, which is a match that we see on a lot of these lists, actually.
Yeah, yeah, and a good list, a real good list
Yes.
from Lucas, of course. Lucas is a real ball knower.
Mm-hmm. And we have another list. This is from Chris Elord, who has been a long, I think, day one listener of the pod, and has been a guy that I mean, when I was getting into all this different style stuff, I was watching a lot of it with him, and he is a list that I didn't even like conceptualize like how it would come out, but he starts with Onita Aoyagi 1, then Koshinaka Aoyagi, then Ogawa versus Hashimoto 2, so the April 99 match. Then Vader Tony Holm, which I discovered that match in a voice call with him. So I had a feeling it would be on the list, but it being number 2, fucking awesome.
I love
And
to see
then
that.
number 1, also one that I was kind of shocked to see, but I also another one where I was not there when he discovered it, but I think he was one of the people that found this tag, the Onita Sambo versus Sue Juan tag match. And that one is like violence supreme. Like that shit is ridiculous.
It just got to say, it's very difficult to make a list because we've
Yeah.
talked about like so much awesome stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
like just pull back the curtain for a second on what my list is going to look like. I don't have that tag on my list, but it was on the list in 2 different drafts of it. You know, like this was a fucking hard thing to figure out. I see fucking Kana, which I'm assuming this is Connor who sends in the
This is
questions
Connor.
for.
Yeah.
Wow. And he's got a great list here with Onita versus Aoyagi at number 1. And this,
He's got the second match, right?
oh, it is the second match. Wow,
Yeah.
I was about to say it was the number 1, but that is the second match. Wow, that's awesome. Juan Asako again, which is fucking sick. Murahama Qualt, which is awesome. That match is great. uh, Halme versus Vader, and then Koshinaka Aoyagi. Again, strong list. Um, and then I think after this, we have a lot of people that just kind of didn't do lists per se, but threw out some of the matches that they think should be mentioned. Ohio de Fritz von Erich on Twitter. I don't know if they have any other name. They said Kata in the House versus 326 and the Korean tag, which again, 2 awesome fucking matches. And then we had Mike Awesome Mike, who brought up Vader Halme, and the first and second Onita Aoyagi. BDGN on Twitter that mentioned
BGDN
Kata.
69.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
know what? You're right. I gotta mention that one. BDGN 69. Mentioning Kata versus 326. Mentions Lee Gaksu and Kim Hugh Dwan just in general, and the tag specifically at their number 2. And then Grigory Verichev versus Onita at 3.
Yeah.
Love that mention. That I was looking for someone to bring that match up. That match is so good. And then I think the last one from the submissions, at least for now, from the good brother Seki, who is like completely retired from discourse, but I still talk with a good bit. He mentioned Onita versus Lee Gaksu. Fucking awesome mention there. Saito Kobayashi, Saito versus Koshinaka, the Hashogawa tag with Murakami and Iizuka, Kata 326, and the big tag of Aoyagi Saito against Kobayashi Koshinaka.
I'm really glad somebody said Onita Ligaksu too, because
Yeah.
that's one that's like easy to forget. but
Yes.
it is like a really perfect, like just classical different style fight.
Yeah. No, it is so fantastic.
And I
Um,
do. Lawson also mentioned the Ogawa Hashimoto tag.
he did, yes.
Yeah,
Awesome lists from everyone. Awesome if even if you didn't send a list and you just mentioned some matches, love hearing about that from y'all. And again, anyone that listens to this later and just wants to send it to us, we'd love to hear it. So thank you all for sending that in. And now I think it's just about time that we also talk about our own lists here because we both have a top 10 of our favorite matches thus far. And I mentioned it. I think we've both been reworking this list a lot over the last week because we just
dude.
keep
The
fucking.
last like two cuts were so brutal,
Yeah.
and they all got mentioned. I think for me, so
Yeah,
that's
same
good.
here.
But I
But
also have at least one that did, two that didn't get mentioned, maybe three.
yeah,
How do we
I
want to
think
do this? We go back and forth, countdown from 10.
I think back and forth countdown from 10. So like we'll both do 10 and then 9 and et cetera, et
Yeah,
cetera. So I can start it off. My number 10 is New Japan, March 9th, 92. Aoyagi Saito against Kobayashi Koshinaka.
beautiful.
Yeah, that
Uh,
match is insane.
yes, chaotic, bloody, stiff. The rookie gets shoot killed.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude, they fucking bring in they bring in Keigo Kurahara as a sub in. Like it is. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a lot of the best shit of different style, like all in one match.
and as we talked about at the time, like as close to a street fight as you're gonna get in the
Yeah.
wrestling ring. Mine is totally different. At number 10, at number 10, I have Glacier versus Big Bubba because
Wow.
I love a 3-minute TV match. I love the master of the 3-minute TV match, Big Bubba. I toyed with a different squash here, but I think just for my own sensibilities, the TV squash different style fight is so satisfying, and I could watch it a million times.
Yeah, no, that match actually ended up in like my top 20. Like I didn't think it would, but then I went and rewatched it like at the beginning of this week and I was like, wow, that is actually it's so fun. And you're right, like different style TV squashes are we really only got them with like Glacier and Ernest Miller. And they are so fun across the board. And this is like again against Big Bubba, who is so good at this kind of match, so it all works out. Um yeah, that's an awesome number 10 right there. So my number 9 and this I feel like you could take any of these matches, put them in any order, and I would probably still be like, oh yeah, that's a really good top 10 list. But this one especially, like, it feels weird not having it in the top 5, but it's just how it landed by the time I got the list ready. It is Big Van Vader and Tony Halme, the
Yeah,
10-13 match, which is just I mean, it is in terms of the matches that we've seen with like punches and shit, it is the best punchy different style fight we've ever seen.
definitely the best. Like, and it's funny because he wasn't a real boxer,
Yeah, he
really.
was a fake
But like,
boxer, but it's
yeah,
so good.
the best boxer one you could ask for in a totally
Yeah.
game Vader. That was one of my last two cuts. I didn't have it, so I'm glad that you had it. And it
Oh.
again, it was torturous to do.
Yeah. Dude. I mean,
I,
I mentioned it when we brought it up when someone had it on their list. The Grigori Verichev match. That was one of my last cuts, and I got really mad at myself for cutting it.
so I have at number 9 one that's already been mentioned, one that I cut and then I put back on was Kim Hyun Hwan versus Sambo Osako. It's Sambo Osako getting battered, Kim Hyun Hwan inventing the feliner, and it's I feel like it's like somewhat overshadowed by like the match that's on the same
Yes.
show.
Yes.
So I got to give it some love. It's just such a blast and such a fun match to show to people who haven't seen it.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. In fact, I will echo those sentiments because my number 8 is Sambo Osaka versus Kim Yoon Won. Yeah, I've been a long time salesman for this match. I think it is, as you said, is unfairly placed against the greatest match ever because they just happen to happen on the same night. But on its own, as part of the whole show, it does a lot to make that show like one of my favorites I've ever seen. But looking at it on its own, it is one of the best like fireworks show different style fights. You are just seeing Kim Hyun Hwan with the crowd in the palm of his hands because he is Bruce Lee doing the craziest shit ever, and Sambo Osako eating absolute punishment. And every time he fights back, it is the craziest thing you've ever seen because he's hitting these weightless throws where he's just hoofing him around. Like it is such a great way to spend like 8 minutes, you know? Like you don't anytime I watch it, I enjoy it. It's never grown old to me.
My number 8 is one that was not mentioned yet, but it is October 9th, 1988, Don Nakaya Nilsson versus Fujiwara.
Wow, shit. Wow, that's a great
I
one.
love this match. It is brutally violent even for this show.
Yeah.
I like that chronologically it's early in what we've talked about, but they're like playing with the structure a little bit, so there's like some stylistic differentiation, and the stylistic differentiation is like the ultimate always moving forward offensive guy against like the ultimate defensive guy. And it's
Yeah.
also, yeah, it's also bloody and like one of the most definitive endings you'll ever see. I really, really love this match a
Yeah.
lot, a lot. And I didn't think about it until I started looking at the list of what we covered, and I was like, wait a minute, that was so sick. And I went back and watched it again. I was like, yeah, that's got to be on there. That match is so fucking sick.
Yeah, no, I love that match too. That was another one where it was on like the first list I made. Like I made like a list of like here are 25 matches I'm fairly certain I'll include, or I think like is worth considering. And it did not make it into the deeper cuts, but like again, just how stacked this fucking lineup of matches we've covered is. That match is so insane and ridiculous, and it has one of the best Fujiwara performances ever, maybe. Because you're
Which,
totally right. It's
come
like
on.
the guy that attacks forever and the guy that like the best attacker is the best like defender, and it's just Fujiwara like trying to balance like how much punishment can I take before I find the right moment to counter. And then he loses because he gets eaten alive by the best striker ever. And it's like that match is so good. I'm pissed that
Yeah.
it wasn't on my list now, but I mean
And it's not talked about very
no,
much.
it's really not. Like it's probably talked about like way less than most of the stuff that we're going to include on this list, and it is incredible. Uh, so my number 7 is back in the FMW zone. It is Atsushi Onita versus Lee Gaksu, which is I was
Yes.
very happy when I saw that mentioned by Seki because I love that match. I think ignoring one specific pairing, it is the best different style work Onita ever did. Um, Lee Gaksu, same thing with Kim Hyun Hwan, just such a phenomenon with the cool ass Taekwondo striking. And Onita is on his A game here when it comes to like dealing with an outside force. He is a master when it comes to the selling and trying to avoid a lot of the striking and finding his moments to fight back. Uh, it is a fan fucking tastic performance for him. And on rewatch of that match, I'm only even more in love with it, and I had to include it on my list.
Yeah, as I said earlier, great match. Like, just the perfect version of what we love.
Yeah.
I have at 7 a match that others have had and you already had. I have Kobayashi and Koshinaka versus Saito and Oyagi.
Yes.
for all the reasons we've already talked about.
Yeah. I mean, really,
Some
like,
heavy Seishin Kaikan representation on my list for a
oh,
little
oh,
spoiler.
oh, oh, dude, you have no idea how much I agree with you there. Yeah, no, like this is unbelievable stuff from like these four guys. And as you said, like if you want to see a match where there is no attention to like the rules and the structure you're supposed to follow, and then instead it is just pure attack, attack, attack. Like this is the best ever example of that. They do not stop. They fight and they fight, and when the only time they stop is when genuine injury causes like a complete shutdown of the match, and then they restart it, and it's just attack, attack, attack again.
Yeah. And the
Like
injury stuff is
phenomenal.
so good.
It's so good. Dude. Fuck. Oh, what a match. What a match. So, my number six. I've loved this match forever. It is Keita Yano versus Mitsuru from Taiheo.
Yes.
Uh, I have. I mean, I talked about it so much in the episode that this was a pivotal match for me in my like Keita Yano fandom, and I mean, again, rewatching it for the pod, it holds up so well. It is such a jarring experience. And similar to that tag we were
There's
just
nothing,
talking
yeah,
about,
there's nothing like it. But
nothing
it's, I mean,
like
it's
it.
even different from that. It's the same
Yeah.
spirit, but it's like the way it plays out. There's nothing like it.
Yeah. Like they both break the rules of what you're supposed to do in a wrestling match, but this one especially kind of like makes a mockery of it to the point that like this is a match where people say it actually goes too far and they can't fuck with it. And I fully get that. But for me, this is a match that is by far the best different style fight to happen in the last like 20 years. Like it
I would
is
agree with
a
that.
monster.
I think I said on the pod that it's like a postmodern different style fight, and
Yes.
I still think that it's like, how can we, from what we were just talking about, Seishin Kaikan, like, how can I do something similar to that in like this context, which is as small as you can get compared to like
Yes.
as big as you can get, and
Yeah.
like kayfabe is dead. Like it's really crazy to sit and watch and also think about.
Yeah.
I have at number six, uh, one that many people mentioned, April 30th, '92, Kuniaki Kobayashi versus Akatoshi Saito, their second match. The peak of the nuclear heat of maybe the hottest feud ever. Like we talked about
Yeah.
Ogawa and Hashimoto as being like one of the best, but even even the heights of that I don't think reach the levels of heat of this. And this is like, I think I said it in the episode, like the dragon that you chase when you're
Yes.
watching hundreds of hours of professional wrestling like we do. Just the Oyagi polo covered in Saito's blood. It just an incredible match, and I assume that you also have it on your list and probably higher, but that's what I've got at number six, Kobayashi versus Saito.
Yeah, yeah, man, I fucking I love that match, and yeah. I don't even know what to say. Like that is actually like one of the most fantastic matches that we have ever seen, ever talked about. It totally feels like this massive culmination of the feud, and it pays off so 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 well. Um, yeah, no, I love that match. Uh, and it's funny you mentioned another pairing because going to my number five, we have Shinya Hashimoto versus Naoya Ogawa from April 7th, 2000. This is the final match of their feud that I got at number
Yes.
five. Uh, I
that
talked
we just
before.
gushed over
Yeah,
a
I was
week
gonna
ago,
say.
but we will. I'm fully prepared to hear you do it again and for me to do it again. So
Yeah, no, I talked a lot on the pod about how I thought the second match they had together would be like my favorite because it was such a wonderful like sequel to the first one, which already on its own was a fantastic different style fight. Um, but I mean, it kept getting better, which is the most shocking thing to me. That after that third match, like the next two matches they had, the next two singles matches, actually kind of like it like melded in the attitude of the third match with the goings on of the second match. Like it continued the story they had going while also being egregiously violent. And I think the last match they had, the retirement match, is like the perfect culmination of everything because now you've got Hashimoto with gloves who's like actively ready to throw punches. And you have the story being told with like the moves they've learned, like Hashimoto with the spinning fucking chop, and like he's pulling the glove off to hit the Kesagiri chops and shit. And when Hashimoto, after the entire rivalry, finally gets to pop off a DDT, like, I mean, that's fucking that's wrestling to me, man. Like the like multi-year build to Hashimoto hitting a move, and the crowd melts in response to it. Like perfect shit. And I
yeah,
love that match, and I would love to talk about it forever. And we did. We basically did.
yeah, yeah. I don't have much to add to that. Completely masterful, especially when you watch them the way that we did.
Yeah.
Um, like just an absolute testament to Hashimoto's brilliance and also Ogawa's, which is something that people forget. I think.
Yeah.
What number are we on? Six,
Uh,
five,
5.
5. Sorry, I was daydreaming about the Tokyo Dome. Um,
when do I not?
I have one that was mentioned a couple times that I was so happy to hear. At number 5, I have uh, Onita versus Verachev from 227.91.
Oh,
I You said you hated to leave it off. I'm like thinking, how good is all this stuff that what I said was, and I stand by my favorite, the greatest Onita performance ever is number 5 on this list.
yeah. I had a gut feeling when I started getting my list ready. I'm like, okay, so I know one match is going to be on Aubie's list for sure.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's off my list, and I still don't even entirely disagree with you that it's the best Onita performance because he is electric.
And it's like sneakily such a monumental match for reasons that we talked about. It's like the third Onita loss in FMW in 1991.
Yeah.
It is. You can go back and listen to that episode to hear me gush, lose my mind over Onita in that match and list like every fucking tick, voluntary and involuntary movement that he makes. So one of the great in-ring performances, and also like one of the most affecting Onita melodrama things to me ever, as he's like pulling himself up on Verachev, and he's sitting mid ring and crying with like the blood tears rolling down his face. And not for nothing, that doesn't really affect this list, but also like this is the day after that Goto match, as we
Yeah.
talk about, like
Yeah.
just a monument to Atsushi Onita and his
That
greatness.
that's such a great way to put it. It is like a monument to, I mean, how incredible he was at this genre of wrestling. And we are both, at least I'm fairly certain we're both fans of Atsushi Onita, the big deathmatch guy. Like he is
Yeah.
incredible at that. That is, I understand why that has been his lasting legacy, not only because he kind of invented the genre as it is, but also because he's maybe the best at it. Set the bar so high from the beginning that nobody else has been able to cross it. Um, but damn, knowing that that the Verichev match happened the day after Goto, that means that for 2 days you got to see the incredible brawler Atsushi Onita, like the incredible like territory brawler Onita, and then the uber dramatic different style fighter Onita. And both of those kind of go to the wayside after a point. That the brawler comes out as part of the death matches, but it's never like that again. Um and this is kind of seeing him do these two last incredible performances under these kinds of styles that he's just never going to touch again over the next few years. Like he has like
In a
one
time
more
and
big
place
different
that's like
style
the
rivalry.
peak of wrestling.
Yes. And he feels like he's not even riding the wave. He's the one making it.
Yeah.
And it's with shit like this. So yeah, great inclusion. Again, breaks my heart it didn't make it in. I'm so happy made it on yours. And speaking of things that are on your list, at number 4 is Akatoshi Saito versus Kuniaki
Yeah.
Kobayashi.
I figured it had to be coming up. That would be
Yeah. I mean,
insane to leave it off.
pretty much everything that you said. Like, this is a like ridiculous crowd, and fucking Saito puts in such an insane performance. Like, I still think about him in this different style fight doing the Terry Funk punch drunk selling just out of nowhere. Um, like less than 15 matches into his wrestling career or some shit. Like he has got it. He's got it by the boatloads, and he's got blood by the boatloads. And these guys are just fighting it out. And I did not include their first match, which I had thought about for a long time because that match. I mean, I remember talking about it and saying it's like live leak shit. Like I love that match,
Yeah.
but in hindsight, I watched it and I'm like, this is incredible. There are other matches that are better. The rematch, really, like this is number 4 to me. There are only 3 matches that I think we've ever talked about that are better than it. Um, because it is just so unbelievably good for all the reasons that Aubie listed and for the few that I did. Just fantastic stuff.
Yeah. Insane match. And it speaks to how good this stuff is, how good different style fights are.
Yeah.
Like we still have more. Number 4, I have a different Hashimoto Ogawa match. I have the
Oh,
October '99 Hashimoto Ogawa match for the NWA title. The passion
yes.
in your Hashimoto, where he eats the 400 STOs and then
400 SCOs and then gets bailed out by Inoki because he's getting beaten to death. Yeah.
uh, it was I probably the hardest thing for me in making the list was picking one of their singles. Which
Yeah.
of their singles am I going to have like on this list? Because you could make an argument maybe in relation to the final 3. The first one is not quite there, but it's still awesome. You know,
Yeah.
when this one to me is like the start is so hot, and then the finish is so stunning. I just don't think there's really much like this anywhere.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. Like my big debate was between the second match and the last match,
Yeah,
but that fucking that October 99 one is so fantastic and it tells such a fascinating story with the STO execution and Hashimoto just fighting for his life. Um I do hold that match in like high regard, and I in fact also have it in my top 20. Like I'm checking my list right now. I think that's at number 17. Like
yeah.
it was one that I thought about as well.
It's so hard. I think probably like in terms of just like a match to throw on without context, probably the second one is the best.
Yes.
And then the final one is like such a spectacle and so emotional. But this one to me is like the 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 best of both worlds.
Right.
in terms of like structure and like emotion. But it's just it's you could pick any of them seriously. It's so hard to separate them from the context of like where they are in the feud and just
Yeah.
look at them as like individual matches. But that's the one that I think I had the most like intense reaction to, other than the
Right.
than the shoot
Right, right,
and
right,
watching
right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. My number three, and actually I will have to throw a correction here because we were talking about Connor's list, and we mentioned the Onita Aoyagi he had. He actually has the third one on
Oh
his list,
wow.
which even cooler shout. I'm
Yeah.
so
Hell
happy to see
yeah,
someone
dude.
mention that one. But my number three is the second one, the October 6th, '89 handheld of Onita versus Aoyagi. Um, this is the start of the Aoyagi spree. So Aoyagi and Onita here are so unbelievable. It's such a great build off of the first match where they played such different roles than they would like only a few days after this. But this middle match for them is kind of like the most outright brawling they do, and it is so chaotic, and they are throwing so many bombs at each other the whole time, and the crowd is the first FMW crowd and they're already going nuclear. Like, it feels like the biggest deal in this like one instance of like how much they are going at each other and how crazy the crowd is going. Um and it's Aoyagi getting the big win over Onita. Like, or I mean the no contest over Onita. Um I might actually have those flipped. I'm like going crazy right now. But regardless, he fucking owns Onita in front of his hometown crowd, and it's just fantastic. And I get why people consider it the best one, at least in terms of the in ring action.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, this is like there's not much shit better than this.
It's incredible. And it's like the foundation of like one of the best runs ever.
Yeah,
Like they everything goes from that.
yeah,
I have at number 3 uh Shiro Koshinaka versus Masashi Oyagi. As you said, the Oyagi run is coming.
yeah,
Um, one of my favorite matches ever, which you could say about all these top 3. um,
yeah.
we talked about on the episode, like I was kind of worried that it wouldn't hold up to like my image of it in my mind. We went back and watched it for the pod, and it was better.
Yeah.
Uh, it. I am a ghoul and a vampire, and I love blood, but they do it without blood, which is crazy.
Which is so nuts. Like, it is. I mean, again, I am also a ghoul for this shit. I am so in fucking love with wrestling blood, and they got no blood here, and it's like one of the best matches ever.
Just two masters displaying their mastery, and you could watch it a million times and love it every time.
Yeah. Uh, Echoing all of that, number two, Aoyagi versus Koshinaka. Everything you just said. Um, I talked earlier about with Saito Kobayashi. I think a lot about Saito doing like punch drunk selling as he's like bleeding out. Similarly, I think about when Aoyagi and Koshinaka get into like this strike exchange, and it is the greatest strike exchange in the history of wrestling ever because they are just non-stop throwing bombs at each other, like hard fucking elbows over and over again, and it feels less like an exchange and more like an actual scuffle. And that's so much of this match. These guys just getting into little spats and taking each other out with these like massive moves. And Koshinaka is on top of the fucking world in 92. Like, I think even mentioned on the episode, there is probably a case to be made that Koshinaka is the best wrestler in the world in 92 because he does this. And then a few months later, he has the war tags. Like,
God.
he is on a run, and there is a good chance, even considering the war tag that I think is like one of the best tags ever, this might be his best match of that year. It is unbelievable stuff, and a massive feather in the cap for Aoyagi. Um, yeah, just fucking incredible wrestling.
Yeah, it's perfect. I have at number two a match that many people mentioned that I mentioned is one of my favorites ever. It would be really high on the GME for me if I were to make one. The Shinya Hashimoto and Izuki versus Murakami and Ogawa tag. Um,
Yes.
I said it's hard to pick the singles from that feud like out of context, but you really don't need any context for this match.
Yeah.
You can, and it's probably the first one I saw from this feud, and I don't know if I had much context except knowing that Ogawa had at one point killed Hashimoto,
Yeah.
but just a fever pitch, um, chaotic in a different way from the earlier different style fight stuff. There's much more of like an MMA uh, component to it, but it's like nothing but kill shots, and especially again going back and watching it in context, like there's so much going on here, like it's so fraught with all the stuff that's happening, like for real and on television, and the presentation is off the charts. Just one of the most fun matches ever, one of the most brutal matches ever. I fucking love this tag so much.
Yeah. That's I think I mentioned that I made like two last second cuts as well right
Yeah.
before. One of them was Verichev. The other one sitting at number 11 is that tag. And I will just mention that the number 12 on there was Donakai Nielsen versus Maeda, which was,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
never got brought up. That's a sick
that
match
one,
too.
that one was actually on my list until right before we recorded. And I was like, shit, I got to move around something real quick. And it just popped out. And I was like, ah, well, but no, that tag is incredible, and you are so right that you don't need any context. Although I will say, from doing the pod and getting more like complete context, especially regarding why Izuka is in the match, I was
Yes.
like, wow, there actually is a slight like additional mark in favor of the match just from knowing why Izuka's there. Because
Yeah.
like now I understand why Murakami wants to maul him to death. And I mean, again, everyone in here is on one. uh the Ogawa Hashimoto like stare down in the middle of the Murakami Izuka spat is so good. And yeah, no, this is just one of the best tags ever. And
I bet these are going to be very similar,
I have a strong feeling about what our collective number one might be. Um if I were to guess, would your number one happen to be a match from 1989 featuring
Yeah,
Onita and Aoyagi?
indeed.
Yeah, this is a WKA match, baby. This shit is. I mean, I don't even know what to say, man. If you have not watched that match yet, it's like on YouTube. I'm fairly certain someone has already posted it on YouTube. If they haven't, I might unlist it. I might just make it public finally. Go fucking watch it, dude. It is genuinely, genuinely like top 10 best match ever for me. Like I
Yeah,
love this fucking match.
a slam dunk fiver,
Yeah.
like without a doubt. And we've said this about a few of these, which is a testament to like how varied they can be. There's nothing like this anywhere.
Yeah.
Like the atmosphere, the work, the the experience of watching this grimy thing. I said it when we talked about it. I sent it to Brady and Dom, and Brady was like, "What is this evil match?" That's another word that we use a lot, but like this is just pure dopamine,
Yeah.
and like probably why I love different style fights so much. To be honest,
Yeah, this is the reason why, I mean, for me, this is the reason why we're doing this podcast.
yeah,
Is
I think that's right.
this match is what ignited it all. And I mean, similar to the Juan Osaka match and to a few other matches that we've talked about in this listing, I have seen this match like 20 times. And not only does it never get old, I usually walk away thinking, wow, that actually is a little better than I remember.
Yeah.
Like, it is such a monumental piece of work for both men. I mean, and again, it's Masashi Ayagi's first match ever, which is like nuts. First match out the gate, he gives us that. And
And
I
it's
feel like,
Onita's proof of concept.
yeah, this
His
is how
shot
Onita
at
starts
his proof of
FMW.
concept.
Like, it's
And
nuts.
I will stand by saying the Verichev performance is his best in terms of like what you think of as like the components of a great match. But
Yes.
knowing like the situation that he stoked and the way he plays it here, like this is one of the most virtuosic performances in wrestling history.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about some matches that kind of cross into the same barrier, like fucking Ogawa Hashimoto 3. It kind of touches on it. But that, and when I say it, I mean like the real fights that eventually occur. Like that match leads to a real brawl between people. But that match leads to a real brawl because the whole thing is real. Onita Aoyagi is a
Yes.
work that worked people so hard it started multiple shoot fights during the match. There is there is legitimately nothing else that compares to it ever in wrestling. Um
It's
it
like
is
watching Ethan Hunt in the first Mission Impossible like go through the lasers. Like that's what Oyagi is doing.
yes. Just I mean shout out to
I'm
Masashi
sorry, that's what
Aoyagi who's
Onita is doing, but also
yes.
also yeah, I realized that 30 seconds later, but also Oyagi, as you said, his first match ever, uh, and a precursor of what is to come from him.
Yes. And I will just mention there is someone I believe Tetra who asked a question a while ago, and we're probably not going to do a Q&A because we did all of this, but I do just want to mention this because Tetra asked a question about who is the biggest hit rate and the worst hit rate, and I'm not sure about worst, but what I will say, biggest hit rate, so obviously Aoyagi,
Yeah,
like
no contest.
he is far and away the best wrestler in the different style white sphere. Um, Probably. I mean, I came into this with the idea of like, the best different style fighter is either Onita or Aoyagi. After watching enough of this stuff for the pod and knowing what we're going to be talking about relatively soon,
Oh,
um, he is far and away the best different style fighter ever. Uh, just like no comparison. We both had him at like top three for our top three matches. Like he covered our top tens.
yeah.
Nobody else was doing that. Like, and he was for me. He was in the rafters in like two different cases because there's the fucking Seishin Kaikon match with Kobayashi, and there's the Tony Halme match. Like those are
Yeah,
both kind of in the like the top
forgot about
20.
the Tony Holman match.
Yeah,
Jesus.
dude. And like I even mentioned in the pod, there's a match we didn't even cover, which was another Tony Hallman match. That one is even as crazy. Like he is Masashi Aoyagi is far and away the best different style fighter. And for me, as much as I love 2 through 10 on the list, like I came into making the list knowing that Onita Aoyagi would be number one, and then I went through the process of making it, and at no point was my mind changed.
Yeah,
It
no, that was a no doubter for me too.
yeah,
That was locked in.
just
And
I mean, if
if not for the sake of variety, like I could have thrown the other two
yeah,
matches on here at any point.
yeah,
Uh, but I approached this like a favorites and not a best. But like if you did, like yeah, he's a very uh outside of the people listening to this, a very underrated wrestler and
yes,
truly one like by far and away the best martial artist. to enter wrestling, in my opinion, and easily the best different style fighter. And his Noah stuff is fun too.
Yeah, Snow stuff is so fun. So a big thing you should take away from all of this: Masashi Oyagi is a guy that you should watch a
Hey,
shit ton
wait.
of.
You know what else we didn't mention? The
What?
Jushin Liger different
Oh my
style.
god! Oh my god, we haven't even talked about that match. And that match is like one
Yeah.
of the craziest things fucking ever. Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, no.
Or the matches against the guy we talked about today,
Oh
Kurisu.
my god. Dude. Fucking yeah, go watch Aoyagi. You can find a bunch of shit on YouTube. You can go to like 10 different blogs and find links. Watch everything that he's ever done. Especially the fucking Onita matches and the WKA match number 1. Um I have had a great time doing this pod, watching all this shit with my man Aubie,
It's the best.
and
It's the
I
best.
hope that all of you aren't just listening to us, but are actually going out there and watching it too, because this shit means something to me, man.
No doubt.
No doubt. So, yeah, again, if you didn't get a list in this time and you get interested in sending one over, just send one over because we'd love to look at it. Um, And for next week, I am I've been weighing a few different things of what we could cover, but I think I we did this like fun little episode, but then we went back into the top 10, which is a pretty weighty thing. Let's do some more fun stuff again and talk about some matches that have been outright requested to us. Uh in a sphere that we really did not have not tapped into except for one time. We are going to North America, and there's some matches that have happened in the US of A that deserve to be talked about. So I think next week we're just going to talk about some good old American different style fights.
Oh man. Oh baby.
Yeah. Fans of Big Show better tap in.
Oh. I find out when you do, folks. And I'm always genuinely excited if you can tell. Best podcast ever, best project ever, best time ever.
Yes. Yes.
Well, we will see you then.